for the AGM conclusion dialogue, and it actually kind of ties into something that we was talking about earlier. Do y'all see a difference between prostituting and the women that say you got to spend money on me to have sex with me?
Oh shit! Yes, it's a difference. Okay, say that again.
Do y'all see a difference between prostituting and a woman like you need to spend this amount of money on me to even be able to mess with me?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We gonna get the guys' opinions first, because I mean, I kind of fall in the line of.
I feel like there's a strong parallel between the two. Cause what's the, like from a man's perspective, what's the difference between a straight up prostitute, like this is the exchange for services, and saying a woman saying you gotta spend this much to have.
To be honest, I think that's worse.
What? The other one?
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, I'm sure you probably figure you'll get a better quality of a woman, but you spending like way more to do something that you could have just for what you want anyway. You could have just gave that little bread and been done with it.
That's how I feel about
versus having to play all these games, act like you like her the whole night, and spend the money.
It's
do
like,
the
let's
whole.
just cut out the bullshit. Just cut out all the distractions.
And then that's the end of it
for the experience.
Again, other than it's maybe a higher quality of women aspect per se, but it's like, are you really though? If you're saying you putting a price tag on yourself?
Well, I just know, and I've never dealt with this, and I don't really deal with women like that. But the narrative that I see and hear a lot, especially on the internet and just in like a lot of videos I watch, is the way that I hear women communicate. And before I go on, not all women, but what I hear,
obviously, you gotta throw that disclaimer. Don't get cancel culture.
Right, when I hear a significant or a loud portion of women on the internet speak about their dating with men or getting involved with men, it's very transactional, which is like he gotta have this much, and if he doesn't have this, then I can do bad all by myself, and and if he's not doing this, there was a whole buy me a Birkin.
I know you know that talk with the fights you be having. Hey, I'm telling y'all, the Dorian y'all see in this chair is not the same on social media. I'm telling you right now, this is a cold nigga right here, boy. This is a cold nigga right here, boy. Not fall for this nice guy.
He don't give a fuck.
Fine. I'll give you a little bit of it. I don't know. I do view it as just straight up prostitution. It's just like what. It's just a transactional thing. It's like you putting a price tag on your pussy. That's really what it is.
So is escorting and prostitution the same to you?
It kind of depends. Like,
what's it talking about?
There are women that you could pay for a date.
Exactly.
You pay for a date. There's no get.
Oh, you're talking about like a literal like call dating escort type of.
I mean,
it's like let's say you're a man that walks in, like, you know, let's say you're invited to a party or something like that. Right. You're invited to a party and you want to impress the people at the party. You could pay for a woman to accompany you to the party. So it's like, oh, he came through with the fine chick. You know, she was impressive, and you know that has a little social currency that raises your social currency.
That's definitely different.
But you know, depending on how the night go,
something kind of.
You feel me? Y'all both.
But at that point, I feel like that would be on her own. Like, I really am feeling this nigga. Like,
yeah. Now to me, that's one thing. Like,
right. I feel like that's different.
That's one thing. Like, being an escort is one thing.
Even though you were asking him to answer your question, kind of with another statement, I think it's idiotic, and I'm sorry to tear down strip club culture, but for niggas to throw all of that money at a strip club for something that they usually try. Some strippers go for it. Some of them niggas do be sleeping with
some strippers
with the strippers.
Be going for it.
Yeah, some niggas do be sleeping with the strippers anyway. But I just find it idiotic for them to do all of that. If your sole purpose is having sex with them, you're gonna do all of that but you find like some shame if you go to a prostitute and just pay her,
because
and then
don't
be done
pay for
with
pussy, but that's what they like to convince themselves.
That's the narrative.
That's the thing. They like to convince themselves they don't.
But you'll throw racks at a stripper.
But they pay for pussy.
That you're not gonna, and you're not gonna get that pussy on top of that.
But that's what they like. I mean, I'm telling you firsthand. Like, okay, so from my point of view, being a dancer, technically in a lot of feminist circles or otherwise, technically I'm considered a sex worker because I am a dancer and working to appease sexual fantasy. Not needs, not physically. I get paid to get looked at. That's the difference. There's levels to the shit.
You do.
I get paid
but there's
to
a
look
big
at.
crowd.
There is a lot who go into propositions, who fold into that, and that's how you cross the line of prostitution because paying for sex, period. For me personally, I'm not the type of female who's like, oh, like I've mentioned before, like I don't need a Birkin bag or like Bentleys and BMWs don't fucking impress me. It don't move you the same way. It don't impress me. I'm not impressed by the average female. So like, I don't want any of that shit. Buy me a couple paints that will be under $50 because I be buying like dollar paints because I work with what works. Not being cheap, but I work with what works, and I'm somebody who is logical enough to know that I can have an amazing date in under $50. I can have an amazing date for free, but motherfuckers don't want to do that. They just want to fuck.
Yeah, but to answer the question, if a woman comes to me and tells me it costs this much to get with me or whatever,
no, they're not gonna say it like that. They're gonna say you need to make this much.
Make this much
in order to deal with it. No, but why would she care how much you make?
Some won't say it like that because others will say it straight up and be like, no, in order to fuck with me, if you want to pay for it, it has to be this much. Don't forget.
That's obviously prostitution though. I was talking about the girls who like try to find. It's damn near like the OnlyFans thing.
All right, well all right. It's not the same as prostituting because prostituting is like money for sex, but it's the same as escorting. Because it's like money for just me being around you. And maybe sex.
But that's the same as paying at strip clubs, and that's the same as...
that's putting a price on you. If you say you need to make this much in order for you to even be able to mess with me to get to that point, like, you're literally selling yourself. Yeah. Literally selling yourself.
Cold thing, the truth be told, I'm not even mad at women for doing that. Like, it's just like, it just is what it is.
Yeah, if the niggas is dumb enough to do this shit, but I'm...
On the flip side of it, it's like, don't be mad if niggas don't value you outside of what you're selling. Because it's like, you need to make this much to get with me. It's like,
don't get mad if somebody call you a prostitute when you're literally selling yourself for a price. I feel like there ain't no damn difference.
So what's the difference between wanting somebody to make a certain amount in a relationship or as a prospective partner and having certain standards?
So your standards could be, I want you to at least have stability. Like, you need to at least have... But
that's just some people. What if some people's standards is, I need you to make at least 6 figures?
That's prostitution.
That's part of my standards.
That's on the line of prostitution. If you put a price tag on what this nigga needs to be making,
or maybe
because you want him to make it for you, not himself.
But even if it's not for her, what if it's just in general? I mean, some people, not myself, but
that's not possible.
I've seen females who are just like, either they're self-sufficient, which is few and far between, let's be honest, like self-sufficient to where they can get whatever they're looking for in a man on their own. Few and far between, not as But
why does that matter?
Because it's a social construct for men to be providers in America or in general.
But you can be a provider, but if you are stable enough to be a provider, that don't matter.
The variables is modern times, rap, or social media, social cultures that feed into this narrative of, you have to have a Birkin if your man cares about you. You have to have this if somebody cares about you. But don't forget, those are just the standards changing with the times. Not saying it's good or bad, but their standards changing.
So this is how I look at it, because like, you got, as a man, you have to make some, to get like a woman, you have to make some money. So it's like, it can't be absolutely zero. Like, you can't make absolutely
obviously
zero.
That's why I said stability.
Right, stability. So once you get past a certain threshold of, like, I don't know, let's say you're making 50, 60,000, wherever you live. I don't know, but let's say you make enough to hold down a stable place to live. You got a car, you got food, you got clothes. Y'all guys can go out, within reason. Go out with your friends and go on vacation. Let's say once, twice a year. Got some money saved up in the bank.
Average life.
Right. Emergencies ain't gonna bankrupt y'all or whatever. Just regular, not even regular. Just regular. But is that normal?
That's not goals. Goals is extravagant.
Right.
Goals is a Bentley truck.
Now for some women.
Birkins
and man, we could have a whole nother podcast about this whole
thing. For real, I don't even know why you chose this to be an ending discussion.
But it's like social media really has fucked the game up. Not just because when and I feel like this affects women more than it affects men. They see like the lifestyle being projected. It's like, ooh, I want that.
From these rapper girlfriends.
From the girls.
Rapper
like,
athletes.
I want that.
I mean, athlete wives and girlfriends.
And it's like, ooh, I want that.
What Rolls Royce for their birthday.
Getting the whole BBL joint or whatever. On that tip, but then also it messed the game up. Or just, I don't want to say messed the game up, it just kind of altered the game a little bit, because it's like now their ability to not just see it, but then also be able to access those men through social media, and then also to be able to generate income through social media based off their sexuality. Just those three things really change the game up. So it is far more transactional. So it is more like parallel to
But that's
prostitution.
the thing. They turn around and put them unrealistic expectations on regular
because they
men.
just so happen to get that and be lucky. But that's
bro,
perception. That's human. That's the human condition of perception.
I literally just seen a woman online tell academics that she would not mess with a nigga who got less than 200,000.
Well, it's like,
so you're telling me that if a nigga make 150,000 a year, that's still not good enough for your standards? How the hell is that not prostitution?
You got to see like. It's all about the psychology of like how
the psychology and the social norms are changing. Social norms today is you can be an influencer off TikTok, you can make billions of dollars off TikTok, Instagram, any social media.
But those are still 1 in a million situations.
But barely as much. Like not as much as before it was like becoming an NBA player is like. It's very difficult to do. That's a dream, but that's not something.
1 in a million. Yeah. For sure.
But as far as Instagram culture, come on now, as much as you just said, IG models be around. These motherfuckers, there's a culture around people who have to do literally nothing but make videos doing nothing or makeshift nothing to make money and become millionaires. That is a thing.
It's a very strange reality.
It's very strange, but that's reality.
To the psychology, and they've like done a little studies on this, especially like with dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, and shit like that.
Right.
They'll show that like women want the top 5% of men. Like the top 5%.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like if
they rank the people on the app,
when they break down the data, like men,
how many likes they get and all that.
Yeah, how many likes on shit. Like men, we're more like when it's like, what's your type? I tell people like, as men, we don't really got a type. We got like a range of type of women that we'll fuck with. It's like, she falls into a range. Most women, they want a man that's looks like this tall, this type of build, and makes this type of money and has this type of like social this type of shit to go with it. And it just so happens that the majority of women flock to niggas like that. And for the rest of the men,
but here's the thing though, like, why does he want? Because niggas don't care about how much money you make. First of all, most of them not even bringing what that nigga bringing to the table, because it's a lot of people on earth that's not bringing what they bring to the table.
Which is pussy. So I mean, I feel like that comes with it too. The most attractive.
They pussy is niggas, worth
but
that.
Listen. But niggas like the bitches who have the most wanted of pussies and the most wanted of attention. Right? They want to get the Aries. They want to get the Jada Chiefs. They want to have sex with them. But outside of that, they want to make it to where everybody else, they want to make sure their partner is somebody everybody else wants to have sex with.
That's based on, but they base that on looks. They go on looks with that.
But you think it's not just looks? Like, a lot of it is looks.
I think they care about looks and they care about
optics,
10% of companionship. That's what I think they care about.
Sure, but a lot of it is optics, and a lot of it is the baddest nigga or the most flexing of niggas is gonna want the baddest
trophy,
bitch, right? Regardless, and that's always been that, right? The trophy wife. So that hasn't changed. It's just modernized in different ways.
So what about all these women that don't look like that, I'm sorry to hit y'all with the average at best, but the women that don't look
and
like that, and they be wanting the Moneybag Yo's or the LeBron James, but like that's what they.
That comes with realistic. Like thinking first of all, I mean that's one. I would never be somebody that's like, oh yeah, let me try to replace Ari with Moneybag Yo. Absolutely not. The fuck, I'm not. I don't have a BBL. There's certain things that are normalized and
that's
part
the
of
thing.
the standard.
These niggas will have sex with regular women.
And that's fine.
Like they'll do that.
But they're not gonna be.
But that be the.
That's not longevity.
But you don't understand. That be the goal of a lot of these IG models. Like they're cool with that because it's like. I know at least with that little interaction, I'm gonna get some money out of that spit or some clout out of that spit because I'm exposed this nigga from whatever come from it.
Absolutely,
but you gotta like it's because it's such a big thing. Like it goes back to like the dismantling of our families. But the way that I've been looking at it is like just think about what it's like to be a woman. You feel me? Like you start off as a child. And
you're sexualized from the moment you're a child. Yeah,
once you like early into life, while you're still a child, you realize that the men around you treat you differently and they act weird towards you because of your pussy and they want your pussy. You feel me? Just to kind of put it bluntly. And some women realize that more so than others. It's like, yo, I can get shit out of these niggas just based off of
the idea of having
just
pussy.
Not even based off of the pussy, based off the potential of getting my pussy.
Right. The idea of having a pussy.
Based off the idea of getting my pussy, I can get this nigga to fucking give me money, drive far, give me shit. This nigga will fucking sneak behind his best friend back. You feel me? All type of weird shit. And so now we got social media and like all these different fantasies and ideas is popping into these girls' minds like, oh, I could do this. This is attainable. I could do all I gotta do. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, this is the price now. This is the price for the pussy. You gotta have this because I see that and that's what I want. So, right, so you gotta have that.
With that being said, I agree with everything you just said. That being said, both of y'all, I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything you said. Now, selling yourself in that manner, that's fine.
Yeah.
But prostitution, shamed. It's the same spit is what I'm saying. No,
it for sure is.
Are you disagreeing with that?
It sets a weird precedent because it's like...
I think that word is just weird in general.
Because like
prostitution?
On the flip
in the
side,
sense of that word, regardless of what the modern meaning, regardless of what the meaning changes to be, that word has a certain narrative and a certain association with it. Period. A certain connotation, a certain association. Prostitution is exactly what it's always been known for, right? Paying for pussy and stuff. As we become more modern, there's escort services, there's stripping, there's sex work in any capacity.
Yeah, sugar babies and all type of shit.
But right. Think about it.
Like,
in a lot of circles, it's all bracketed as prostitution from olden days, right? That comes up. That does come up to where they have that constant... I don't know, association, I guess. For me personally,
I won't say because I told you I don't think the escort. I don't think the escorting is the same thing. I'm just saying the
y'all do
the process.
We got it, right? Got it. You do.
I'm just saying the process of selling yourself and to be more blunt, selling your pussy, even if it's not directly, it's still the same spit to me. Is all I'm saying.
But that would. I mean, I didn't want to talk about this, but ultimately, like, so what? OnlyFans is prostitution to you?
Because you're not necessarily having sex on OnlyFans.
So for you, it's selling pussy for use, not selling the access to looking at pussy, enjoying the idea of getting that pussy. It's of use of that pussy. That's a difference, a slight difference. Don't forget, dancer. I get paid to get looked at, and it fulfills fantasy just by getting looked at. But I will say this though: most of them OnlyFans girls are the same girls I'm talking about that sell themselves to these people. And unfortunately,
I will say that.
And unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately because not everybody's as lucky. Unfortunately, a lot of those OnlyFans girls are able to have the luxury of being able to just take pictures of their feet or take pictures in lingerie. Celebrities or otherwise are able to just sell themselves in that way where it's exclusive content.
But it usually transitions to their actual life though.
But it doesn't have to. That's the thing.
But a lot of the time, at least from my experience, I'm not gonna speak for every OnlyFans girl.
And I feel you.
But from my experience, most of those girls do have a price on themselves.
Sure.
Because it's like, if I'm doing this work and getting this much money for this, I really don't care about like you are, what type of nigga you are, or what. I care about what you bringing to the table for this.
And I have a different perspective.
That's like the first conversation that those women want to have before anything else. What are you making? What are you bringing to the table? And coming out like that is selling yourself. Because what do you care what he has for? Again, I'm not talking about basic stability. You could be making $80,000 a year. That's good money wherever you at, unless you're in Cali or New York. But that's pretty much good money anywhere. And it's decent even in Cali and New York. But why do you care what this nigga is making if you're not selling yourself? Because that money's supposed to be spent on you, right? You don't want him to make that because you want him to have this certain life for just himself.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but that's the same way. So is a person selling themselves if they look at a potential partner to be financially stable in whatever way they feel is financially stable for a kid and otherwise?
Now I do have a question because I think once it passes a certain threshold, it's not about financially stable. It's like you really trying to like live
right. Exactly. Like, you're trying to live.
But that's not what you're saying.
An illusion.
That's how I feel.
Who, me?
That wasn't what you was quite saying.
That was what I was saying.
On the flip side, like, cause what confuses me and what confuses I feel like a lot of men are confused by is like if it's transactional and it's like I gotta pay for the pussy and then that's the price of it. All right, cool. But at the same time, don't be like you gotta treat me like a queen and respect me and care about me and cater to me emotionally and.
I feel like that's a whole nother conversation.
I think about it. Even if you were straightforward talking about, so it is transactional. Let me be straight up about it. I can tell you firsthand, that doesn't matter because niggas are still caught up on I don't want to pay for this.
Of course.
I don't want to do this, but yet you'll spend over $60 when apparently, which I came to find out through working, not a personal preference by any means, but from clients that I've had, apparently bitches be out here selling their pussy for like $60. Like,
yeah,
I thought the magic number was 40.
Yeah, right.
And to me, all of that is
less
too
than
low
that.
because
I'll smoke you out.
I mean, I'll tell y'all off the mic, but there's stuff to where that is absurd to me. And like I said, I'll give y'all reasons later. But that is very.
You saying if you was to do something like that, it better be like.
Oh no!
Much higher.
If I was to charge for anything, motherfuckers couldn't afford me. Period. And that's what it comes
that's
down
how
to.
It should be.
And
that's you not putting a price on it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I've had niggas come to me like, "Oh, well, you fucked with me for free, and I'm trying to offer you money and $50 per head and shit." I'm not. What? Buy some art and shut the fuck up.
I ain't never heard no spit like
that. But I have, and I'm a female with a vagina that's apparently some type of good because motherfuckers harassed me for years on end, and to this day, as of this week. After 3 years of not having me, being like, yeah, so I'm just trying to, but I've told you.
I'm going to pay somebody that I used to have sex with for free. I ain't never heard that before. That's deep.
I ain't going to lie, man.
And I refuse. I'm
not saying that I would, but I understand. I understand the idea of like, man, I want to have sex with her again, but I don't want all the other stuff attached to it. So, would you accept $1? Like.
That's a good perspective. That's a fair perspective.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. In some situations, yeah, that's a great perspective.
And if she's down for it, no, all right, cool.
Yeah, to each his own. If she down for it, that's that. I'm not.
But I respect that perspective because it's like you can't really put a price on your body.
Something that's priceless, period. I don't know about other females, but I know myself. And I'm not.
Yeah, no, that was a great
I know you wasn't
answer.
talking about me or nothing, but it's just like, ultimately, it's like, I've dealt with shit like that where it's like, oh, well, you dance and they expect certain. That's not part of my job description. Yeah. Let me let you know one thing about it. That's not part of my job description. I mean, you can't help how your profession is and you choose to move there. You like on some diamond spit. Some who?
Diamond from Players Club. Don't tell me you ain't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Hey, I'm about to walk off
the
set again.
It's one of the movies I definitely want to see. Because
we gonna have a movie movie night with you, bro.
I've been talking about this.
For all the
I've
classics.
been talking about all this.
Matter of fact, we finna make a list, bro. What? Baby Boy for sure.
You haven't seen Baby Boy?
Still ain't seen Baby Boy. Yeah, because I want you to see that scene we was talking about, though, with Peanut.
I haven't, yeah.
Not Peanut. What was her name?
I haven't seen a lot of them. I'm not trying to expose myself, but, like...
You know what I'm talking about, though. They just... You seen that appreciation?
Yeah. Hey, that was funny. After we talked about that was funny.
But yeah, Baby Boy and Players Club's on your list.
There's a lot of them. You guys will be mad.
But those two for sure is like, man, please don't say that in a room full of niggas like at a family function.
But I've had women like
that's
I've had women that I have like just started talking to, especially like online or whatever. Like we exchanging and they be like, I don't know, like the most recent one, like I was talking to this girl online or whatever, and it looked like she did a business or something like that. And I was like, was there any way that I could like support the business? She was like, no, but you could send me money through Cash App. And I was like, I just stopped talking to her. So I stopped responding.
That's stupid, because why wouldn't you just say support the business by paying?
By saying, you're right, it's the
That's
wording.
Stupid.
It's
the approach.
And this disclaimer,
on that point, girls be having their Cash App information in their bio, like.
Hey, I feel like you might as well go like this with a cut.
It sucks.
You do that.
I've never been that type of girl to have it like that, so I guess that's why I can't relate.
Just like Cash App, like
I've never been the type of girl that's like,
But disclaimer, we just having a discussion, a topic. I do take women out on dates. I do all that good stuff. I don't trick, but you do have to spend some type of money and have some type of stability. I understand that. I'm not with entitlement. That's where it's like, okay, like this, we're not gonna work. That works for you. It don't work for me. We can go about our ways, no hard feelings. Call it a graceful bow wow.
Like I don't even
that's
trip.
that.
I was like, that's what you want. Cool.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I was heated and great way to end it.
We'll revisit all this another time, I'm sure. So
I feel like for that to be our episode 10, like that really shows the epitome of our chemistry at this point. So the
girl perspective is not understood.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad to have
Yana back.
I'm
not the usual girl perspective, so that's not understood.
You don't know how many topics from last week. I don't know if you checked out that episode.
I haven't, because I'm still a little salty, but it's whatever.
I promise you, it was like a few topics on there, but we was like, man, where the hell is Yana at? Like, because it was for sure some stuff that I know you would have some shit to say. So we're glad to have you back, talking your spit once again. And we're going to keep it going. Again, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, man. Let's keep it going.
Send some girl-friendly topics. Y'all want a perspective from a
right,
woman
no,
on
for
sure,
all that. Allgrindmedia21, allgrindmedia21 at gmail.com. Send all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yana holding it down for y'all. We feel like we be double teaming sometimes, but she hanging in there.
Unless y'all let us know something, unless y'all let me know what y'all want to talk about. I can only speak for myself, and I'm different. I'm not like everybody else. So talk to me if you got something you want to speak on or see a different perspective on, and we can have a discussion about it. So period. All that.
Hit any of us up on IG, man. If there's anything, any words y'all got for us, anything y'all want to, like she said, you want us to talk about, let us know. You know what I'm saying? We rising. We got me and Huso working on a giveaway that we gonna have for episode 10 in celebration of it. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I think that's pretty much it, man. Glad to have y'all back.
Real quick, shout out to Southern Roots Barbecue. My sister is doing
yes, sir.
And out of Santa Clarita Valley, they deliver to Palmdale, to San Fernando Valley. Hit them up at Southern Roots Barbecue. Best soul food you can get in the AV.
Talk that
firsthand.
That's what's up. We don't got enough for that.
No seasonings missed. Foot stuck in the food, all of it. Like fire.
That's right.
You never can miss, from desserts to entrees to sides. Like, come get it. So
y'all remember the 3 magic words: support Black businesses.
Period.
That's it.
And that's one to support for sure. Keep a lookout on them.
All right, man. That's going to wrap it up. We're going to see y'all later. Peace.
All right. Peace out.